Good afternoon, everybody. I am so excited to introduce this new series to you. This is Michelle Thompson, your academic and legal life coach, and today marks a rollout of a planning series. So as you know, I am in academia, I teach, but I also practiced law for 7 years. And I just want to tell you what I figured out from both of these ventures. So one of the things I've figured out is a lot about planning. So I'm going to ask, are you a woman who is in academia or law? And that can mean anything. I don't care if you're a doctoral student. I don't care if you're a part-time professor, if you're tenure track, postdoc, tenured. I don't care if you own a law firm, if you work in a law firm, if you are in government or nonprofits, however it is you fall in either of these categories. I want you to stay glued to this. I think it'll be really important and it'll make a big difference to your work life. But if you don't fall in one of those categories, this will work for you as well. There's nothing unique about what I'm saying at all for that. So please stay put. So here's the thing. I've been talking to many of you about one thing that would change your daily life as someone in those categories. And I've gotten lots and lots of responses for you. Thank you very much. And I'm going to ask for more. But the kinds of things that people want a hand with are making sure that I have time to talk to my colleagues, make sure I'm not doing only administrative work, figuring out how to build my firm into something bigger, being able to get up earlier in the morning, setting aside class time so there's more interaction with students. Those are some of the responses I've received. Figuring out more family time, for example, figuring out how to get a date, how to have a boyfriend, how to have a relationship. And these are fantastic responses and exactly the kinds of things I was looking for. However, and these kinds of things can be solved by planning. So here's my question. Do you have something personally or professionally that you haven't been able to get, that you haven't been able to achieve? Or have you started making your way towards something and you just get stymied? All of a sudden you're slowing down and you can't quite get where you're trying to get. Do you need to get things moving in the right direction? The solution is a plan, right? You actually need one. And I know what you're thinking, right? I hate planning. That is boring. Snooze fest. I know you hate it. And, I planned before, but it never works. Or, boring. Boring. Who wants to sit around and plan? To which I respond, maybe all of those things are true. But here's the thing. How are things working for you without a plan? Are you getting closer to what you want? If you are, then go away and, don't worry about it. This is not for you. But if your life is not going the way you want it to go, then maybe you need to reconsider things and consider a plan, right? Think about it. When you go on a road trip, do you just get in your car and go somewhere? Especially, let's say you want to go to Chicago, but you just get on and you take the nearest road that you can find, and I live in New York City. That might be 95. That's getting you nowhere close to Chicago. That's going to get you closer to, Florida. So if you don't have a road map, if you don't put in something in your GPS, you can't get where you're going. And that's what we're trying to do, get you where you want to go. Directions are planned. That's all that it is. It's just one different type of plan. So you have to do this, right? So here we have this multi-part series on planning. Generally, you'll find them except for today, you'll find them at Thursdays at 10 a.m. on my page right here, Michelle Dion Thompson Life Coach. And I want to give you a sense of the kinds of things that you can fix in your professional lives, right? So no matter your industry or field, there's nothing that can't be fixed without a good plan, right? Today, I'm going to talk about what is your goal. On April 28th, I'm going to do this talk on the steps towards achieving your goal. On May 5th, I'm going to talk about what are the tasks that you need to do to achieve your goal. On May 12th, accountability and execution. And on May 9th, what if things go awry? Because that's why you think you don't want to plan, because everything gets screwed up all the time, right? So I want to talk about getting back to your plan, tweaking your plan so you can achieve what it is you want to achieve. So today, setting your goal. It seems like this should be an easy thing, right? You pick a goal, you set it, and you go on. But for some of you, it's not. And actually, if you're a woman, it's actually not that easy at all, right? As girls, we are not raised to actually have our own goals. We are congratulated when our goals align with other people's goals. Let me repeat that, because if you think, well, I don't understand why this is so hard, this can be why, particularly if you're a woman. As girls, we are encouraged to have goals that align with other people's goals, not our own goals, right? So this has different implications. For me, I actually never said my goals aloud. I kept them very quiet inside of myself, and I hid them. My mom would say, I know you're nodding yes, and I know you have something else planned. And she was right. She knew me well. So some of us hide them. And often when we make them obvious, we are told that we're too ambitious, we're too big for britches, so why would we ever share our goals? We just kind of quietly work on them, right? For some of us, to avoid the criticism, we never set goals. And what part of that is it results in us not knowing what we want. We can't tell what we want at all for our lives. We have the inner voice that tells us what we want, but we can't hear it. We can't find it. We've silenced it for so long. And so to have a meaningful goal, the challenge is that you actually have to be in touch with that inner voice that actually knows what you want, that actually knows what you want. So, Barbara Stanny in her book, Sacred Success, talks about stepping into your greatness. I love that. I love that whole analogy, stepping into your greatness. And what makes it great is that it is true to yourself. So the question is, how do you get in touch with what's great and what's true to yourself? I'm not going to go through what she read. You should get the book and you should read it. But one way you can get really clear about this is to journal about what you want. Right? So you write down in your journal, what is it that I want? What are the things I want to accomplish in my life? And as you write down this list, get in touch with how it feels. Ask yourself, how does it feel? If you notice there are a lot of shoulds, I should do this, I should do that, I should have kids, I should, notice that, just notice that, and write down, wow, that sounds like a should to me. This was another should. Oh, this is another should. And then leave them there and just let them bubble. Because you want your goals confirmed by your own voice, by that inner voice that says that this is actually what matters to me, right? And that's one way of starting to sort it out. And if the things end up as shoulds and not I want, then disregard them. They're not your goals. They're not what you want. And keep journaling and keep digging deep about what it is that you want to do. Maybe you need to talk to somebody else. Maybe journaling isn't your thing. And that's the case for many, many people. And that's good. Go find someone else. But make sure that you're talking to somebody. Well, let me put it this way. If you're inclined to need someone who reinforces, to validate what you want to be careful about who you go to. You want to go to someone who's wide open and can just kind of hear what you're saying. And they don't need to weigh in with advice, and they don't need to weigh in with their judgment, right? If you can't find that person, you want to figure out some other kind of resource for yourself. Hey, contact me afterwards and I'd be happy to listen to you. Because if it's not true to you, you're not going to achieve your goal. It's just not going to resonate with you, and it's not going to get you what you need, right? So you want to be very, very careful about who you're talking to your goals with, but make sure you have the resource built in so you can actually hear what your goals are. Now, that's all well and good, but what is a goal? How do you set it? Well, you don't want something as large as change the world. It's too much. Most people can't. So you might want to set it up as write my next book, becoming a partner at my firm. It should be a big goal. It should be the kind of thing that scares you. I know that sounds completely crazy, but that's the kind of thing that gives it life. It might be the kind of thing that kind of gets in the way of you doing it at all, but you want it to do that. It should scare you. It should be smart. And by that, I mean this, specific, the S, very, very specific, measurable. It should be attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So specific is write my book. Measurable, you can tell I'm writing X number of pages a day towards my book. Attainable, at some point, I will know that I've finished my book, right? It should be realistic, right? And it should be time-bound. I want to accomplish this in a year, in 3 years, however that goes for you. Those are my thoughts on how to set goals so that you can get your life going in the direction that you want it to go. I thank you so much for watching. I I just have a few things I want to ask of you before we hang up here. The first thing is, if you enjoyed this and you want to make sure you get more, like my page, when this video is over, just go ahead and click like the page so you can be on top of what I'm offering and when I'm offering it and what I'm doing. If you have questions or comments about what I did today, go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comments box. I will either answer them in the comments or I will incorporate your thoughts into a video. Wouldn't that be cool? So that won't happen unless you go ahead and do that. If you need one-on-one help with setting goals and getting there, send me a message. I can be happy to provide you with one-on-one help. I offer free consultations to start that process. A few more things. The first Friday of every month, I do my online brown bag lunch, and you will find it right here on Facebook. I will do it on Facebook Live. So like my page, and then you'll get the dates on the next brown bag lunch. It's going to be for academics and going ahead and setting up the summer so that you can accomplish what you want to accomplish in the summer, get some self-care, and actually plan for the next semester so you're not overwhelmed by that. If you're a lawyer, I have a new offering for you, the Tribe of Legal Warriors. Doesn't that sound fabulous? So if you're interested in that, click the sign up icon and go ahead and sign up for that, and you can get all the information you need. Please ask me any questions that you might have. I also run an academic chat called One Academic Thing every Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11:30. I want to hear one thing in your daily academic life that would make your job go so much better. And then there's one legal thing, and I've been doing that in the daytime, but I have a funny feeling you lawyers are not really on right now. So I've set that up starting May 4th at 8 o'clock in the evening, every Wednesday evening, 8 o'clock, one thing in your legal life that if you could change it would make your job go better. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.